And we're going to examine some of these thoughts that we get from people. We got a doozy to start with here, and let's get into this one because I thought this one was outrageous. But what the hell, gentlemen? Let's entertain this anyway. And here it is, the overreaction. And again, we just talked about Duke, and this team has already beaten Duke. So it's kind of absurd to think about. But the overreaction from Christian Rich, Kentucky will be on the bubble by the end of February. So that would be in exactly 1 month. Randolph Childress, overreaction or no?
Who said this? An Arkansas fan? Like, who sent that in? Like, really? Really?
It was actually John Calipari's burner.
Yeah, it's his burner. It's John Calipari's burner
Yes.
account. That's where that came from. That's probably this is wishful thinking, man. Like this unless there's some injury, and unless they get something stronger than the flu, like the plague or something that's just going to wipe out the whole team. I think Kentucky will be firmly in the tournament, man. A bubble team, I find that hard to believe. I can't imagine they'd fall off that much to be a damn bubble team.
Let's change it up because that's ridiculous.
Yes.
But
by the way, Field of 68 right now. We have a new bracket that has them as a 4 seed, so it would take a crazy plummet and fall off a cliff. But go ahead, CJ.
They are probably about to be 3 and 4 in the SEC because they got to go to Tennessee tomorrow night. So that's hard. That's rough. I will say this: a couple weeks ago, another high major coach told me. I told him I was going to Kentucky, and he said, "I bet you if you told Mark Pope right now, and this was before their 2-game losing streak. He said, I bet you if you told Pope right now, he said, how many games do they play in the SEC? They play 18. He said, I bet if you told him right now you're going to be 9-9 at the end of the SEC, he'd take that. If you hooked him up to a lie detector test or whatever, true serum. And KenPom right now does project him to go 9-9. RC, what do you think? Is that an overreaction that Kentucky would Mark Pope would accept 9-9 in the SEC? Because we know how good that league is.
I don't think he would accept it, and I wouldn't bet my life that they wouldn't go 9-9. I mean, the league is, we know what the league is, but I think they'll do a little better than that, right? I think they shoot it well enough to do that with their level of experience. So I don't think 9-9 is something that's in the cards for Kentucky. I'm not saying that they're going to be, 1 or 2 games better than that. I think they probably will be. I think they'll get to double-digit wins. I mean, is it 11 wins? I think maybe 11 and 12 wins will be ideal. I think that's where they'll end up. What we've seen from them so far, and tomorrow will be tough. They're going on the road from a Tennessee team that just took an L on the road. Winning on the road is going to be hard, that league. But they shoot it well enough that they'll scare the hell out of anybody. They'll have their moments. Tomorrow probably won't be one, coming off a loss with Tennessee. But that's just what that league will be. And but I'm not ready to say that their tournament bid or whatever that is, that's overreaction. That's ridiculous. But I can see with someone saying, like what your point is them struggling in the league. Because that person is saying that they're going to lose. They're losing a really good team, so they won't hurt them at all. Those won't hurt their metrics.
Yeah.
They'll be firmly in the tournament no matter what they finish up in the conference play. But I do think they'll be a couple of games above 500 in that. They won't be 9-9. I think they'll be, 11-7 or whatever it is, something like that. 12, so I 12-6, maybe a little more than that, because the bottom of the league is really, really good as well.
They have lost 2 in a row. They have 1 loss at home and 1 loss on the road against Vanderbilt this past weekend in Nashville. Alabama was the home loss. That Alabama team's offense is sometimes can just explode.
They got homecoming after Tennessee. After Tennessee,
exactly.
They got homecoming. They got Arkansas. So
I
mean, they're gonna get that one.
Up for that
Cal
one.
coming to town.
They're gonna be fired up. They're gonna be fired up for that one. And then so let's say this, EJ, and we're talking about Kentucky right now, and the overreaction was they're going to be a bubble team by the end of February, which we think is crazy. But let's say they are 9-9. Let's say that you suggested that if you could get him behind closed doors, he would accept that. What would that get them? 9-9 gets them what in the NCAA tournament?
So they'd be 20-11. Let's say they win a game or two in the SEC tournament. I don't know. They're probably at least still like a 5 seed, right? Like, because they have such good resume wins, they're still probably at least a 5 seed. So I have a hard time seeing them drop below like a 5 or 6 at the worst, maybe. So they're still going to be in a decent spot, and they are a team that they've shown on when the shots are falling, they can beat a Duke, they can beat a Florida. They can beat really, really high level teams when shots are falling. So they've got their weaknesses. Not the best defensive team, but they understand who they are. They've got old guys who play for each other. It's a really good team. I have a hard time seeing them slip into a spot where they would be a bubble team.